Hello! Welcome to Searching for Service, a show designed to help current and future Rotarians find purpose through service. Our show's promise is a dedication to sharing stories, experiences, and opportunities for those searching for service, and how Rotary has been the organization or the vehicle to bring it together. The goal of the show is to grow the Rotary family by connecting through service projects. I'm Kelly Tanke, and with me is
Joseph Kirk.
Together, we're really going to do a deep dive into the heart of Rotary, service above self. So this first episode is really geared towards a formal introduction of us as the hosts, but impactfully laying out the vision we have for the future of the show. We're excited and we are honored to bring this show to you, so let's go ahead and get started.
Awesome, Kelly. I'm excited. I don't know about you. I'm pumped. Searching for service. What a fun journey it's been so far. This show is going to be really diving into service opportunities, providing opportunities for those that are seeking it. And, you know, I figure what better way to really lay out what our goals and objectives are is to hear it from our very own district governor from 5950, Lloyd Campbell, and what he really sees for this podcast and show.
Hello, Kelly and Joe. Thank you for having me on your inaugural show, Searching for Service. As you know, this show is a collaboration between the two Rotary districts here in the Twin Cities. You know, Rotary is one of those hidden gems that few people actually know about. You know, we're a membership organization of 1.4 million people, providing service opportunities primarily in seven areas: the environment, peace and conflict resolution, maternal and child health, clean water and sanitation, economic and community development, basic education and literacy, and disease prevention. Most people know us from our efforts to eradicate polio. Service is one of our key components, both locally and internationally, but also networking opportunities for members to develop leadership skills and advance their careers. We are looking for members with integrity, with diverse backgrounds, people who want to have fun, and who want to make a difference, not only in the world, in their community, and in themselves. As I said earlier, Rotary is a hidden gem, and we want to change that. This podcast and radio show is our effort to reach out into those communities that's never heard of Rotary, but are looking for ways to give back to the community. Those are folks who are searching for service, both locally and internationally. Our Rotary family extends from high school students to retirees. If you have a passion for service and want to have fun, develop leadership skills, and also advance your careers, this show and Rotary is the place to be. And thank you for having me on your show today.
How wonderful. And
thank you so much,
yeah,
Lloyd.
Thank you. And so eloquently and well-spoken. I think that one of the things that really stood out to me is how, yes, indeed, Rotary is truly a hidden gem. And in our upcoming segment, we'll have an opportunity to do a little interviewing back and forth and get to know our hosts and how they got involved in Rotary. But I think one of the underlying themes for both of us is that we really didn't realize how awesome Rotary is, and truly that it is a hidden gem, which I secretly really like. But we want to get the word out, and we want to get the word out in a positive way, impactful way. And how do we do that and be inclusive as well?
I think a good way to look at it, too, is to say instead of being the best-kept secret, we want it to be the worst-kept secret because we help so many other people. You know, and a couple of things that Lloyd had talked about, and, you know, I'm excited to expand on as we explore more and more in this show, are the diversity and the plethora of service opportunities and leadership opportunities and just ways to fulfill your life that Rotary really helps with and helps connect you to great people, helps connect you to great opportunities. I'm extremely grateful to have both Lloyd and Dale at the helm of our districts, of our respective districts, and they have
for just a quick second, I want to say Dale. So Dale Quigley is the district governor for 5960, and then Lloyd Campbell, who you had heard from just now, is the district governor of 5950. And so
East versus the West.
East versus the West. They really kind of split that divide between the river. So I just wanted to give a shout out to both of them because Dale's name is relatively new to this. But yes, very grateful for both of them. This show would only be a thought in somebody's brain if, without their support and true just direction. And, for those that do not know, which would be all of you, by the way, how this all started was a simple ask in a Rotary meeting of, we're looking to do a show. We don't have a name for it yet. It's going to be about service of some sort, and we just want to talk about Rotary, and we want it to be a new vehicle to help people find Rotary. And I'll let Kelly tell the story, but I may or may not have raised her hand for her, and then I got dragged in with her. But we couldn't be more excited to bring this show to everybody else and help educate all of you on the power of Rotary, the power of service, and the power of service above self. It is a fun story, and I'm not going to get ahead of myself and share the club that we're with quite yet because that'll come out in our interviews here in these upcoming segments. But yes, we were indeed sitting in our Rotary meeting, and Lloyd was visiting. He was our featured presenter, if you will. And his ask at the end of that was, it really was striving for gaining Rotary membership, and how do we do that, and thinking creatively and outside that box. And so he said, this is one of the things that we're thinking about, and that is, a Rotary podcast or show or combination, and we're looking for hosts. And Joe, for those of you who do not know, which is everybody, Joe and I are engaged to be married, and we were sitting next to each other, and he nudged me, and he said, if you don't raise your hand, I will do it for you. And so what else am I supposed to do when my future husband is doing that to me, right? Besides, and I guess the background story to that is that I do host my own podcast. And so it kind of went hand in hand. So I did raise my hand. And at the end of that meeting, I had a very quick conversation with Lloyd because we were out the door, and Joe meandered over, and he said, yes, we're not only are we looking for a host, we're looking for a couple hosts. And I said, well,
I couldn't run away fast enough. He snagged me in.
I said, Joe would love to do it with me. And, the little secret here is that Joe has been striving to have his own podcast.
Oh, boy.
He found out about the podcast that I was doing. He said, I would actually really like to do something like that. Maybe he doesn't remember sharing that with me, but I did remember that little input that he put. So I said, hey, I'm going to raise your hand for you. Well,
and that's just such a great example it's a small example of Rotary. So how it typically works is somebody will come and say, I have a service project I want to lead or champion, or a new show or something, any ask whatsoever. And without a doubt, every single time, if it wouldn't have been us, it would have been somebody else that would have. And
truly,
it truly is people of action, and there's no bad ideas, and everything is great.
We're really the best ones for it, though.
Well,
let's be honest.
That's to be seen.
Peacock. Just peacocking a little bit. So we have about a minute left before we transition to some ads and our next segment. So we do just want to give you a little preview of what's coming up next. We will be doing some interviewing of how Kelly found Rotary, how Joe found Rotary. Very excited to share those stories with you.
And how service was at the core of all of that. And I'm sure that everybody listening to this, if you're listening to a show called Searching for Service, I'm assuming you're searching for service opportunities.
Yes.
And this will be a great way for that to transpire.
So you are listening to Searching for Service on AM 950, brought to you by District 5950 and 5960. I'm Kelly Takey.
And I'm Joe Kirk.
Well, hello. Welcome back. You are listening to Searching for Service, brought to you by District 5950 and 5960. If I can stop stumbling over my words, my name is Kelly Takey.
And I'm Joseph Kirk.
So just a reminder, you can find us on any of your favorite podcast platforms. And P.S., we love reviews, 5-star reviews at that. So make sure to
5 gold stars.
Make sure to drop a review for us. So what's coming up next, Joseph?
Well, I think we're going to take an opportunity to deep dive into our hosts here because, what better place to start for a show than the host on how Rotary has served them, how they've served their communities, and, what really brought them to Rotary, what type of service projects appealed to them, what tell us about the people of Rotary, and just a general deep dive into kind of all the reasons why you are part of Rotary. So, Kelly Takey, I think we should start with you. And
Honored, privileged.
I'm very excited to hear a little bit more about this. And first and foremost, just tell us, how did you start in Rotary? What club are you with?
So I am a part of Edina Morningside. We meet Tuesday mornings from 7:30 to 8:30 at the Edina Country Club. I was sponsored in by you. But what I would love to share is actually, I had actually known of Rotary well beyond my years here living in the Twin Cities. I am formerly from La Crosse, Wisconsin, grew up there, born and raised, and Rotary was very, very prevalent in that area. And that was kind of my first lead-in experience with Rotary and its impact that it can have on a community. I didn't realize how much of an impact it had on the La Crosse community, though. One of the things that really stood out to me that they did, or continue to do actually, is each year down at Riverside Park, they have a tree lighting, and it's lit up for the holiday season. It's really beautiful. You can drive through it. There's music that you can tune into. It's really fun. You'll have the experience with me here very soon coming up this holiday season. We'll have to do that. But Rotary, so the members of that given Rotary would sponsor a tree. And all of those trees would be lined up. And I was like, what is this Rotary? And now reflecting back on it, I know what that means, what the contribution is that each of the businesses did in sponsoring a tree and having it there, and how that had an impact on the community itself. So I wanted to share that.
What kept you from joining Rotary previously?
Well, so my career, I would say my career really started in 2017 in the mortgage industry. And that is really when I had the opportunity to have an involvement in a club like Rotary. And it was actually brought to my attention by a colleague at that time. And I was like, I don't know, and by that time I had gotten the idea in mind that it was an old boys club.
Well, and this is
Which
what
could
part
be
of it,
farther from the truth,
well,
I'm finding out. But
part of this show is to, not only debunk the myths, the script on, really where they are and then where they're heading to. So thank you for sharing that component of, that's honest feedback that I think all Rotarians want to hear, that we have to do a better job of presenting to, prospective members, that it isn't that. And it's actually, in fact, a service-based organization that is dedicated to diverse levels of service.
Yeah.
Here, let's get into the next question.
You're itching for the next question.
I am. What is your favorite service project that you've been part of, and why?
Okay, so there's two that stand out to me. And might I just add that I'm a relatively new Rotarian. I started my adventure back in February of this year, so 2022. So still really kind of getting my my head wrapped around all of the different events that we do and volunteer events at that. But the two that I've specifically been a part of are the ones that I'd like to share. So each year our Rotary will sponsor a golf outing tournament at Braemar, and so had an opportunity to really kind of go outside my comfort zone and help with sponsorship with that, plus getting sponsorship.
Yeah, you helped on the committee.
The committee
that was
itself. I was also a part of a committee for an event that just happened on September 30th called Pints for People. And we partnered with another Rotary, Southwest Metro. And that in itself, I mean, we were kind of coming up a challenging thing there, where, the last couple of years it was a little bit more challenging given that we went through COVID. And so how do we do what we want to do in sponsorship, and I guess what we can earn through that. So,
well, and the amazing opportunity for, 15, 20 local breweries to be able to showcase their product, as well as raise money for two amazing clubs.
Yes.
Yeah. What advice do you give to somebody that is looking for service projects and or maybe even becoming a Rotarian?
I think, honestly, the best advice I can give you is to connect with somebody who is a Rotarian, and I will be the first person to raise my hand to share. Obviously, you've heard my story, but if you are somebody who's listening to this who is a Rotarian but knows somebody who is thinking about this, or just really, over the last couple of years, we've all been kind of cooped up and stuck in our houses. And now people are itching to get out and be involved in the community. It seems to be the case anyways. And so what better opportunity than to connect with somebody who's relatively new in Rotary and can give you a little bit more of a fresh perspective on it. So ask questions. That's my best advice, is ask questions, and then
get involved.
Know that you can be involved without actually being a Rotarian. You
Absolutely.
can do these projects without having that commitment. So,
and if you want to reach out to any local Rotary club, either find one that's local to you or reach out to us on our show page here, and we'll make sure to connect you with a local Rotary club that can help connect you to those service projects. My last question for you is, why did you volunteer to do this podcast? And don't say it's because of me. It was more than that. I can't make you do anything.
I was forced. No. I love the podcast that I do, my own podcast. I have a passion around that. It truly is a passion project. And so this seemed like an incredible opportunity. Though I was like, if I add something else to the plate, will the plate crack? eye roll from Joe. But no, I'm finding out that it's proving to be a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be, and that it's kind of like fueling this, like, I want to do more, because then it gives us an opportunity to share more, especially being so young and youthful as a Rotarian, being able to share those experiences. So, that is really the premise of why I decided to do this podcast, and will continue to do so as well.
Well, I appreciate you volunteering to do the podcast and putting all of this work into it, because all of you out there that have ever, done any kind of show or podcast out there, it's no easy task. It's a commitment. And,
it is, yeah.
I'm so excited that you have committed along with me to trying to partner or trying to marry people looking for service projects with Rotary. Yeah. I think that's a huge task, huge ask, and we're up to the task.
Yes, we are. There is a big commitment that's gone alongside of it. And just a quick share, we literally, leading up to like this first podcast coming out, we've been meeting every single day for a half an hour to get all of our ducks in a row. So, Anyways, you are listening to Searching for Service, brought to you by District 5950 and 5960. I'm Kelly Tanky.
And I'm Joe Kirk.
Well, hello, and welcome back to Searching for Service, brought to you by District 5950 and 5960. I am Kelly Tanky.
And I'm Joseph Kirk.
And we are so excited. The roles are reversing. We are now about to interview the Joseph Kirk.
Do you know what's really funny is I feel like the color commentary guy in a sportscast, like, you're doing a great job. She's amazing, you guys. And I'm just like, yes. Big hit. That guy knocked it out of the park.
Well, now you'll be able to kind of loosen the shoulders up a little bit, and because we're gonna interview you. I'm going to interview you and find out a little bit more about your entry point into Rotary, how you got involved in it, because we're getting to know our hosts. So, and something you guys need to know about Joe is like his face is getting a little flushed right now. He's so cute. He's got a great story. So, Joseph, how the heck did you find Rotary?
Well, like so many of you probably out there, I was searching for something larger than myself. I had a lot of things happen in life where, I just was spending a lot of time on myself and realized that I had neglected a very large component of things, not only for others in my life, but for myself mostly. And an empty cup can't fill anybody's cup. So I remember having a conversation with a friend of ours. His name's Brandon Vitale. He's a local lender. And we're having a coffee, and this is all business-based, so this just shows you how not only does Rotary help you in your community, but also connect you with your business endeavors as well. Mm-hmm. But we're having a coffee, and I'm like, Brandon, I need something that's not just another networking group and not just another business thing, blah, 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 blah. Like, you just when you do those, you just want to lose your mind. And he's like, have you ever heard of Rotary? And I'm like, no. And he's like, it is truly the greatest service community that you will ever find. Yes, we all hold business designations, and we all, there is a component to that, but it is number 4, 5, and 6 on the list, and number 1 is serving your community and getting to know and figuring out how to better serve your community yourself. And he's like, he just invited me to a meeting. I went to one meeting, was completely floored. I couldn't believe the people in the room. I mean, everybody from the mayor to city council members, school board members. And just what really struck me is the wisdom in the room. And I just remember not saying a word for three entire meetings, just sitting there and listening, because I was just awestruck by all the people that are there. And then, my word of advice out there for a lot of us millennials, and we don't want to take advice from people that are older than us, and we've got it figured out. Is no, we don't.
No,
and
we
yes,
don't.
we do. And yes, we do want to take advice from our older generations. They have a lot of sage wisdom which, by the way, every Rotarian I've ever met has been willing to share it at a drop of a hat. And to me, I mean, it was a no-brainer. It was an absolute no-brainer. And then as I got involved, I fell in love. I truly fell in love with Rotary, with serving, I mean, I'm part of the Edina Morningside Rotary as well.
Thank you for sharing that.
And, I fell in love with Edina, and I fell in love with everything that we do. And it's because of this service component and everybody having the same mentality. It's so powerful and it's so meaningful, especially today when it feels like everything in our world is fractured and broken. And it's so cool to come to something that's truly united under one umbrella and blanket, and that's service above self.
When did this happen?
I'm going on 3 years now.
Okay.
And I wish I knew about it 15 years ago. And
Yeah,
I mean,
it actually surprises me that you had no background information or knowledge of Rotary.
which is exactly why I'm sitting in this chair. I want to be able to preach this from the mountaintops forever. Yeah. And I mean, I can't wait to answer that question down the thing a little bit more of why.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's truly amazing. Anybody out there that's looking for service, and then I'm sure Rotarians that are listening to this show as well can give me a hear for, why we're all here.
Yeah. I want to ask this question. What was the biggest surprise and value that you have discovered through Rotary?
I would say the biggest value that I've discovered, and it's the way that Rotary is structured. Rotary does an amazing job of training its leaders and its leadership team. If nobody knows, it's a succession plan. So you typically come into leadership through the secretary position,
Yep.
and then the next year you are essentially the president in waiting, and then you become the president. So you have 2 years to really soak in how to become that role, how to do the thing, and they very gradually bring you into that. And it's really powerful. But what that creates are incredible leaders that know how to delegate and know how to and that's been no doubt the single best thing that I've learned. I thought that I had to do everything myself. I thought I had to carry the boulder, and the more I carry it, the better I am. What I've learned is it's exactly the opposite. Knock that boulder into tiny little pebbles and give it to the people that want nothing more than to help you.
Love it. And sage advice, by the way, for those people who are listening.
By the way, I'm starting to get a little gray, so maybe.
How about advice for someone looking for a service organization?
I think the simple answer is, and I think you nailed it, is join Rotary. I know it's scary, and it has a historical context that may be misunderstood, but Rotary will get you there. Whether that's you're looking for leadership, service, if you're looking for just mentorship, friends.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, all of my Rotarians out there, if you're listening, you're all my family, and I love you very much. So, you can't say that. You can't say that about every group that you're part of, and truly, because I know that they would walk over coals for me. So,
We promise we're not getting paid to do this podcast, by the way. So we're not getting paid to tell you to become a Rotarian. Like, we truly enjoy it. So I just thought I'd say that.
Although depending on the success of this show,
you never know.
And all of you out there can dictate that. But
5-star reviews. 5-star reviews.
But really quickly, before we get into the rest of the interview, if you are interested in sponsoring an ad for this show, please reach out to our show page, and we will connect you. We offer a varying degrees of different ads and products, so just reach out and opportunities. So reach out, and we would love to connect you with that because we're here to connect everybody that's searching for service.
Love it. Okay. Why did you decide that you wanted to volunteer for this podcast? Tell us the truth. And then we have to save time for my final question.
Oh boy. Okay. So really quick, when I volunteered Kelly, it was actually me volunteering, but not having enough cojones to do it myself because I knew that she knew what to expect here and what to do. And she was the right person to volunteer. But for me Rotary has essentially saved my life. I was on a trajectory that was destructive and not as pleasant as I would like, and Rotary literally saved my life. And the people, everybody that I've met has been incredible, and realizing so much about myself that it's not just about me, it's about everybody else. And one of my favorite things that, Rotary's taught me is, the way to get what you want is to help everybody else get what they want.
Yeah.
And you're so fulfilled in doing so. So, it was a no-brainer. And, I like the sound of my voice.
My God, do you
ever? I'm kidding. but in all honesty, it truly was an opportunity for me to save others that were just like me. So if you're at a place, if this sounds a little bit like you, reach out to me and reach out to our show page, and I'll make sure to reach out to you and connect you to the correct places.
So lucky. You're so lucky. We don't have enough time for that last question, but thank you so much for sharing all of this. It was enlightening and intriguing, to say the least. So we appreciate you taking the opportunity to come on here as a show host alongside myself.
Really quick, I'm going to guess what the last one was. It was, what was your favorite project? My favorite project out there for everybody is highway cleanup. My kids and I do it, and it's amazing, and Kelly does it with us. It's utterly amazing. Highway cleanup.
You are listening to Searching for Service, brought to you by District 5950 and 5960. I'm trying to say it as fast as possible. Hello. You're listening to Searching for Service, brought to you by District 5950 and 5960. I'm Kelly Tankey, your host.
And I'm Joseph Kirk, your other host.
And just a few things. You can find us on your favorite podcast platforms. There's plenty of those to go around. And we do love reviews. We love our reviews. So drop us a 5-star review when you have an opportunity to do so. So we're on our final segment now. Woohoo! Holy moly.
We're doing it.
We're doing the damn thing, as I like to say. Whoops. Darn thing. Sometimes it just happens. So just a quick recap. The last couple of segments, we had our interviews of each other as the hosts for this podcast. We thought that was extremely valuable. You have to understand who it is that you're listening to, where they came from, why they're doing what they're doing right now. So,
and why they're uniquely positioned to, speak about service, because they've been touched by service themselves.
Yes. Yeah. Something that I wanted to share real quick. I don't know if this was asked of me, and maybe it was. It just feels like a blur at this point. But the biggest surprise and value that I discovered through Rotary is that it feels like family. It's seriously like just joining back in February of this year, and I feel more connected to some of the people in our club, a vast majority of the people in our club, than some people that I've known for a lifetime. It's really incredible. So
it just shows you what the power of being connected under the same guise, so to speak, and running in the same direction can do in terms of relationship building and trust.
Yeah, and I think, just knowing of Rotary and having this idea that it was something that it wasn't, right? And it was presented a specific way at one point to me versus how it actually is and how it truly embodies itself now, I think is why I love Rotary and why I decided to join Rotary.
Well, and the fact that Rotary identified that they need to reach broader audiences and expose themselves to new types of projects, people, and places. I mean, that in of itself is, powerful and meaningful.
Yeah. You want to give a little recap of your little interview?
Yeah, I thought, it's always nice to know who's, I'm hoping that we all connected with either myself or Kelly, anybody that's on this show or that's listening to this show, is either that they're Rotarians already and they understand, exactly what we're talking about. And, it sounds like we're drinking the Kool-Aid, but it's not Kool-Aid. It's just, it's just truth. And, for those that are seeking service out there, to see that Rotary is an amazing opportunity for you to find yourself, find service, and find your community. So, I mean, I really don't know what else to say about that. And
you're getting a perspective from an individual who is very, very new to the Rotarian family, i.e. myself, and then the perspective and lens of an individual that has had several years under their belt. But above and beyond that, our goal is to have as many guests as possible on this podcast so you can hear all of the different perspectives from varying individuals of varying cultures, too, for that matter. So,
well, and Rotary isn't just local. Rotary has your local clubs, and then, we represent two different districts on here. But then there's also Rotary International, where we do large-scale projects. And, for example, this month, October, is World Polio Awareness Month. And, polio is kind of the cornerstone project that Rotary is known for around the world. And its sole goal is to eradicate polio. We've gotten so close. And actually, this segues perfectly into a service opportunity for all of you out there. Is District 5950 is holding its third annual World Polio Day Amazing Race scavenger hunt. And this hunt is via Zoom. And what it does, and here I'll just read the description, is District 5950 is holding its third annual district-wide event to help eradicate polio. The Amazing Race to End Polio Scavenger Hunt. This interactive virtual event will be held October 22nd from 9 to 10 a.m. This is a celebration of World Polio Day the following week, or in celebration of World Polio Day the following week. This year brings new activities and excitement. So if this is something that really, and here's a couple of things, is you can register a team, you can
join
individually or a team. And if you have any questions or you want to learn more about this project, contact Tim Macron.
He's the polio chair.
And he's with District 5950. And you can also visit endpolio.org for more information as well.
So I had an opportunity to chat with Lloyd Campbell, who is our district governor, and he did mention that our hope and dream, and Tim, if you're listening, we want to have you on as a guest. It's our hope and dream. So if we can find some time, maybe before the end of this month, to actually hear from our polio chair, that'd be amazing.
Well, and Kelly, I don't know if you've heard from Tim before. It's
I have
pretty fantastic to hear his connection to polio and just how he got so passionate about chairing our polio endeavors. And it's gut-wrenching and tear-jerking.
Yeah.
I swear I've cried both times that he's presented it.
Actually, that last question that I was going to ask you in the last segment was like why it had changed your life, because I knew it was going to make you cry.
No.
And I love seeing that little vulnerability side of you.
It's not going to happen today.
Not today, Satan.
Not today, Satan. But to answer the question, I mean, it's Rotary's been everything to me, and everything that has been great in my life since you being one of them has come from Rotary, and really has been driven from that. So I owe my life to Rotary.
Yes, I love it. Thank you for actually giving that little share. Stepping away from the microphone.
Yeah.
So as Joe wipes away the tears and does this thing over there, I want to give a little shout out to Lloyd Campbell and Dale Quigley. They are our district governors for 5950. Lloyd Campbell is 5950 and Dale Quigley is 5960. And as you heard already, they really were the spearheads for this podcast. And so without them, you wouldn't be hearing our voices right now. So it's truly important that we take that moment to say thank you so much for the opportunity and for all that you have done so far in piloting this and getting it on its feet.
And I'd also like to thank everybody that has worked up until this point of preparing for the podcast or the show. And I mean, it took a village, and thank you everybody that has contributed to that.
Yeah. AM 950 has done an incredible job so far of tolerating us as we worked through our dry run and our little blips here. I promise. I can see you looking at me, right? I promise I won't swear again, okay? It was very naughty of me. Just trying to have a little fun. Anywho, any parting thoughts, Joe?
Well, I'm excited to see where this show goes.
Me too.
I'm excited to see it reach our existing membership in Rotary, as well as new members or just people looking to be connected to service projects. Remember, you can reach out to us even if you're just looking to be connected to service projects. You do not need to join Rotary.
And we won't push it on you either. We don't have that agenda.
Not super hard anyway. Just a gentle tap. But it's only because we believe in it, right?
Yeah.
And it's that, it sounds like that if you're trying to, if you're searching for meaning through service, I don't know how else to explain that to you other than to just join Rotary and then have hundreds and hundreds of service projects at your disposal. Yep. Seems like a no-brainer to me.
Well, this has been a ton of fun. And as a reminder, you are listening to Searching for Service, brought to you by District 5950 and 5960. I'm your host, Kelly Tanky.
And I'm the other host, Joe Kirk.
Hosts together. You can find us on your favorite podcast platforms. Make sure to subscribe. Reminder that we love reviews, 5-star reviews. And as a reminder, it's time to stop searching
and start serving.